for Texas Proud. Everyone loves barbecue, who doesn't? We really look forward to showing Houston off.
Personally, I think we like to have fun.
Tonight we have 6 beautiful, talented, empowered young ladies who will compete for the title of Miss Chinatown Houston 2024.
It's a pageant to showcase their talents, their intellect. There's a lot more choices out there now for the young people. It is more and more difficult to keep them in the Chinese community and to learn about their heritage.
各位来宾，大家晚上好。Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Teresa So. I'm 19 years old and I'm an incoming sophomore at Texas A&M University.
Most of them are really stepping outside their box.
My name is Jessica G, and I'm contestant number 2. I'm 18 years old and a recent graduate of Clemens High School. In the fall, I will be attending Rice University with a major in biosciences on the pre-med track.
We have people who are in medical school, Harvard. It takes a great deal of courage to go before your peers when you have 500 people watching.
My daughter got involved when she was a teenager. She grew up with C.A.C.A. When she got involved, I got involved.
These girls have faced so much adversity to be here today, so let's give you and them another round of applause.
We changed the judges, people from media, dancers, people from the symphony, fashion designers. The smart is in the girls, teaching them how to walk, put on their makeup.
And so we train them with coaching where they learn to speak, how to walk, etiquette.
It's something that will go with you for the rest of your life.
My father was C.B. Albert Gee. He was the founder of the Houston Lodge, chartered in 1954 because he had traveled and also lived for a while in San Francisco. He was very familiar with C.A.C.A. National, and so it was his dream to have the community come together and form the lodge. My uncle, Ed Chin, was the first president.
Albert was our second cousin. When I was in college, my cousin was actively involved with at Albert Gee. We endeavored to support him in his projects and activities. One of them was the C.A.C.A. The eldest of 4 brothers, 2 daughters. We had a great reverence for him. He was very gregarious,
very charismatic, and could win people over. And he always gave other people credit. He was lucky to be married to my mother. My mom was always there helping. His restaurant was across the street from the Shamrock Hilton. All these famous people would come to Houston. It was a thrill for me. I would always want to see who was there dining. He knew everyone. The sheriff, he was great friends with the police chief, with the mayors.
He had become good friends with the governor. That enabled him to make contacts and propose things that were important to our community.
When he was only 32, they called him the unofficial mayor of Chinatown.
Early leaders, Albert Gee and Hobart Joe, they seemed to have the ear of politicians. And these politicians would come to our annual banquet to get to know the community.
Making a bridge between Chinese Americans and mainstream society. He and I are the only 2 national presidents from Houston.
He was very proud of the Chinese, and he wanted to assimilate into the mainstream. And Houston was such a city. It was becoming diverse. It was the land of opportunity.
There was very few Asian Americans in Houston. The 1960 census showed that there was only like 1,000.
So when C.A.C.A. was formed, it became a voice for the broader Houston Chinese. We had Christmas parties, we had Santa, we had annual picnics.
Bowling, but we also had an annual tennis tournament, we had a softball league.
It was a good fellowship time. Everybody had fun.
They would have programs on Sunday, so grocers and restaurateurs could go into the health department, have the test taken, and then get their license without having to disrupt their business.
My father had 2 grocery stores in the 5th Ward. When I was born, I lived above one of the grocery stores. At that time, it was segregated.
When the black community began to demonstrate, they would go to the various stores. They took it out on the merchants, and it turns out that a cousin of ours was killed. I was serving as president right at the time that many of these particular issues were beginning to foment, and the owner of one of the restaurants in Georgia took a pickaxe and stood at the door and said he's not going to let blacks into his restaurant. Houston was spared while a number of the major cities ended up having riots. Part of it was because Albert was serving as president of the Houston Restaurant Association. He was able to guide through a very wise decision. The restaurant associations desegregated simultaneously. It turns out that having a Chinese as the president of the restaurant association, having an understanding and connections with members of the black community and white community, enabled Houston to address some of these particular issues in a much less violent manner.
Thinking about the history of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, a tremendous organization that has helped promote East and Western cultures, good citizenship in the United States. The National Miss Chinatown USA is actually in San Francisco. The winner tonight will go to San Francisco and compete. We are just so proud of the growth of every single one of the contestants who have found community and empowerment through these programs, and also all of you who are involved in the Asian community. So thank you.
The Miss Chinatown Houston Scholarship Pageant was brought to Houston by a couple out of California wanting to start a national pageant. H.K. and Honey Wong. We invited June Gong, the very first Miss Chinatown USA, to our C.A.C.A. picnic summer 1958. From that point on, we always had in mind we'd like to send a representative. We would ask girls in Houston, would you like to participate? And we did send some, but they did not have the title of a Miss Chinatown Houston. So we formally started it in 1971. Our first Miss Chinatown was Miss Chi-Lan Bolin. Her pageant was actually part of C.A.C.A. summer picnic at Sylvan Beach. It was there that she was crowned. We also had Miss Chinatown USA come out to be a part of it. It was kind of a celebrity event. From there, it morphed into being a separate event at a local hotel. Back in the day, there were no opportunities for a Chinese American young woman to have the benefit of trying to get scholarships for college. So when Miss Chinatown USA pageant started, it was really about scholarship and also being proud of our heritage. My mother did start it around 1973. It had rotated, but she chaired it, and then I started chairing it until right around COVID. And so I'm part of the committee. The Miss Chinatown Houston Scholarship Pageant is a nonprofit on its own.
The Houston community is just so generous and caring about our mission, trying to empower the young ladies. Everyone seems to want to support. They like the idea of scholarship.
Each year, the Chinese American Citizen Alliance, the C.A.C.A., awards scholarships to deserving youth club members for their community service, club participation, and scholastic achievement.
The C.A.C.A. Youth Club was started in 1958.
We're concerned about being able to sustain the C.A.C.A. and continuing role in the community. One of the things that came up was that we would form a C.A.C.A. youth organization, get young people involved with nonprofit activities, through that sustain themselves and hopefully become members of the C.A.C.A.
Every Christmas and Thanksgiving, they would get together and donate baskets of food, clothing, and since most of their families were grocers, it was a natural progression.
Group of friends in college, we had fun together in the small Chinese community, and that's how I began to learn about the organization and getting more and more involved. So we've been members for over 50 years.
C.A.C.A. and to an extent the local church provided that venue where young people could get to know each other.
My son was active in it, and I was a sponsor then. When I was in it, my mother was a sponsor, so it was sort of passed down.
And now I am chairing the youth club. And so I have many young people in high school, age 13 to 21. We participate in helping them get their community service hours for high school.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Elam, and I'm honored to be one of this year's recipients for the C.A.C.A. Youth Club Scholarship. When I was first introduced to the club, I was just hoping to make some friends. But the more time I invested in showing up to events, the more I realized that I was connecting with my heritage and building a community. Delivering canned food donations, writing letters with positive affirmations, and even handpicking out Christmas gifts for children, this club has helped me realize the value of serving and the generosity of heart and actions. I'm proud to come from a culture that believes and continue to believe in community, kindness, respect, and importance of education. I thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity to continue forward, and I wish you all a happy evening.
The position of Miss Chinatown makes you a role model for young girls who will aspire to be like you. What is the most important thing that you would like to accomplish as Miss Chinatown Houston to be a role model for young women?
Thank you for the question, Jonas.
As they mature, they realize that they have so much more opportunity than their parents or grandparents.
I would like to inspire young women to put themselves out there and to not be afraid of setbacks. They can use those setbacks as an opportunity to grow stronger. Thank you.
Growing up, we were so quiet and shy. It took me a long time to learn to speak because I never had the training or the opportunity. Until my daughter entered, I realized how important it really is to give these opportunities for the young ladies to learn and experience. It's just heartwarming to see them grow. I've been doing it now for 30 years.
Miss Chinese New Year 2024 goes to contestant number 5, Courtney Starks.
Which
means contestant number 1 is our new Miss Chinatown Houston 2024.
Congratulations to Teresa So.
Teresa So.
The Houston Lodge participates in the National Essay Contest.
We've had a long history of our family being involved with C.A.C.A. We were proud that in 1996, the Lodge recognized both my mother and my father for their contributions over the years. I was proud of the fact that my father and I both had the opportunity to serve as president.
Almost everything we've done has been helpful. We're a family. Proud of you, Chinese American.
We need to stay relevant to the community.
We are in the community, we have roots in the community, we show up.
If you want a sense of involvement, family-type setting where there's a lot of heritage, this is the organization to be a part of.